بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum, my beloved ones, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are going to continue the rules of Manasik al-Hajj. So ruling number 119. So just a quick reminder about this, about ruling number 119. We said that the hiring contract could be as a package. That means a specific day is a package that the one who has hired the representative who's going to represent on and do the Hajj on behalf of the hirer, and the one who has been hired, either this hiring could, the specific year could be as a package. In that case, if any condition is violated, such as the year was not accomplished, he did the Hajj, but he was supposed to do this year, he did next year, or he was supposed to do next year, he did this year. So what happens here? The whole agreement is cancelled. On the other hand, where the specific year was a condition, not part and parcel of the whole package of the Hajj. So if the condition was violated, then the Hajj will also be correct. But the person who was hired will deserve ujratul mithl, the average wages, the average wages. So this was the two things which we kept emphasizing on it. So let's see now in today's ruling, he says that إذا صد الأجير أو أحصر. What is the meaning of صد أو أحصر? There is a chapter in the Manasik al-Hajj which is called أحكام المصدود أو المحصور. Sad is a blockage. Someone is stopped from doing Hajj. Okay? An outside force, something an outsider, he does not allow you to go for Hajj. Either your visa got cancelled at the airport, either some problem happened, either you're not deboarded, like for example, you are at the airport and the flight got cancelled and there's no flight anymore. So you were prevented. So masdood means you are prevented from performing Hajj. And mahsur means that something which did not allow you in yourself, like sickness, some personal circumstances. So external circumstances, internal circumstances. And we are going to come and speak about these things in detail. So let's say one of the both ways, you hired someone and that someone was not able to perform the Hajj, which you hired him. Okay? من الاتيان بالأعمال كان حكمه حكم الحاج عن نفسه. So the ruling of someone who was prevented from performing the Hajj on behalf of someone due to the external preventions or internal preventions, it is going to be similar to the ruling of the original Hajj. Here we are talking about the Naib, the representative. So the ruling is going to be similar to the ruling of what? Original Hajj. And what is the ruling of original Hajj? He says it is going to be explained later on, inshallah. So there's a whole chapter of Ahkamul Masdudi wal Mahsur, the rules of the one who is prevented due to the external circumstances or internal circumstances. Okay, so what will happen to this person? He was prevented from going this year, okay, due to the external or internal. What will happen? If the hiring contract was based on that he has to go this year as a package, khalas, the whole contract is nulled. The contract of hiring is nulled. So what will happen? We are going to mention, as we mentioned previously in our previous session, okay, the contract is null. Either وانفسخت الإجارة, okay, inshallah. وانفسخت الإجارة, the contract, hiring contract will be nulled إذا كانت مقيدة بتلك السنة. If it was restricted as a package. Remember قيد? Remember from our previous session, قيد? What happened if the whole thing was قيد? We said finish, the whole thing is gone. So even the ujrat al-mithl is not taken into consideration, the average hiring. ويبقى الحج في ذمته إذا لم تكن مقيدة. Okay, so here the sentence has overlapped. Here there was supposed to be a full stop or something like that, but the sentence has been overlapped. That's why some of our students, they were having problems in understanding the sentence. This ruling is exactly continuation of the previous ruling about the qaid and the shart. The package of the Hajj part and the year being part and parcel. If this year is not included, finish. The Hajj is the whole contract is null. The condition, if the condition is not violated, still, I mean, the contract is there. The violation of the condition does not invalidate the contract. It gives the right to null the contract to the hirer. Okay, remember the khiyar, the cucumbers, okay? The option to null the contract. This is the option to null the contract. So if it was a package, the whole thing is gone. If it was violation the condition, then the option to null the contract is with the hirer. If he wants, he can approve, and the said hired amount will be given to this person. If he says, no, the condition was, but I was not able to go for Hajj. I did it the next year. Okay. So then we will give you the said, not the said, the average wages. Okay. The average compensation, not the said. In our example, the said, the average was $12,000 and the said was agreed upon was 15. So we'll not give you 15 because the contract itself is gone. So that's why he says, وَيَبْقَى الْحَجُّ فِي ذِمَّتِهِ إِذَا لَمْ تَكُنْ مُقَيَّدَ بِهَا. And the Hajj remains on, because once the contract is null with the qaid, with the part and parcel of the year being part and parcel of the Hajj, khalas, there's no null action. And if partial things are violated, there's an option to null. But there's no option to null if the whole thing is gone. And the money needs to be given back entirely. Or if he says, okay, no problem, next year go, then it's a new agreement. But this agreement is gone. But then on the other hand, وَيَبْقَى الْحَجُّ فِي ذِمَّتِهِ, and the Hajj remains upon the responsibility of who? Of the one who was hired. Okay? The agent was hired, the representative. So he has to, it's on his shoulder. إِذَا لَمْ تَكُنْ مُقَيَّدَ, if it was not part and parcel. So this last segment, إِذَا لَمْ تَكُنْ, if it was not, shows that this is the scenario when the condition was violated. Okay? If there was no condition, if there was a condition and it was violated, or if there was no condition, he said, go this year, please. And he did not. So then the option to null will be upon the hirer. So, okay, the Hajj will be on his shoulder. ولكن, however, للمستأجر, the hirer, خيار التخلف إذا كان اعتبار تلك السنة على وجه الشرطية. The hirer has the option to null the contract of hiring if there was a condition. So in these two overlaps, intertwined lines of the ruling of Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah, the conclusion is like that. Focus with me. And this is how we'll try to break it down in English translation. So this is how we will break down. Number one, so we'll make it in a bullet. Number one bullet, okay, So in the beginning, the intro, the one who was hired to perform the Hajj, he was prevented from performing the Hajj either if due to the internal circumstances or external circumstances. Okay, this is the intro to the ruling. Okay, then what happens? A, B, C. A, the contract is null if the Hajj was if this year was part and parcel, and the full package, that the year was included as an essential component of the Hajj this year by the hirer, and it was not fulfilled. That means if you don't do this year, we don't want the Hajj. This was like strict restriction. So it is not, but the whole contract is gone. A new contract may be made, or the hirer can find someone else, or tell him, okay, let's make a new contract for next year. So number one bullet is this. Number two bullet is this, the other one. What is that? If the contract, okay, number two, bullet number two, the Hajj will be on the shoulder. Also, let's say if there was no condition, then the Hajj will be on the shoulder of the hirer, upon the responsibility of the hirer. That means if you did not do it this year, do it next year. Okay, and the whole again the action to null the sale, null the hiring contract. ويبقى الحج في ذمتي إذا لم تكن مقيدة. So the second bullet is that he is required to perform the Hajj. However, the hirer, so this is the second one. The third one, no, there was a condition to perform the Hajj this year. So if there was a condition to perform the Hajj this year and the condition was violated, then the hirer has an option to null the contract and give the average wages, ujratul mithl, or to approve it and give him the said amount. So if I want to shuffle up a little bit of these three points, I will do it like this. If the Hajj this year was part and parcel, essential part of the Hajj agreement, then the contract is nulled. Number two, if it was conditioned, then the hirer has the right to null the contract and give the guy average amount, ujratul mithl, because he did it next year, not the same year, or to approve whatever he did the next year and to give him the full wages. This is bullet number two. Bullet number three, no, there was no qaid, no essentiality of this year to be part and parcel of the Hajj. There was no shart. It was just, I want you to do niyabat on behalf of my father, and this is the money. He did not do the same year. He did it the next year. So if he did it the next year, he comes, he says that, sorry, that's fine. I did not make any conditions. I did not make that year essential part. You were not able to go there. So the Hajj would be on his responsibility. If he performed it, he will get the entire wage, because the hirer did not specify anything. He kept it absolute. So if he was not able to, then it remains on his shoulder. He needs to perform it next year. So this is ruling number 119. Ruling number 120. إذا أتى النائب بما يوجب الكفارة فهي من ماله. This is interesting. What happens? The hirer went there and did some violations of ihram. And you know there are certain violations of ihram: kiss your Hajj goodbye and camel. And I always say stay away from the camel. But stay away from the camel, cow, everything. Okay, don't do violation unless if it is a necessity. So there are certain things, there's kafara penalty. There are certain things, there's kafara istighfar. There are certain things, there's no kafara. And if it was specially done in the necessity in certain cases, and also if it was done as a necessity and there was no penalty on it, because there are certain things if you do on necessity, there's penalty, like traveling under the shaded as means of traveling. So here, who will pay the penalty? The hirer, the hired ones? No, the hired one should pay the penalty. But I'm doing Hajj on behalf of that person. Yes, but these are penalty. You have to bear the penalties. Same like when we hire our car to someone and he does some violation, traffic violation, who will pay? I will pay? No, I hired him. Okay, I'm not hired him. I hired my car to him. So he is going to pay the penalties. So I hired him to perform the Hajj on my behalf or my behalf of my marhumin, whatever reasons were there we mentioned previously to hire someone. So the penalties will be upon the burden of the hired and not the hirer. سواء كانت النيابة بإجارة أو بتبرع. It doesn't matter, regardless of the representation being based on hiring contract or based on voluntarily basis. So on voluntarily basis, okay, please pay the penalty. I'm doing a Hajj on your behalf. Fi sabilillah, I just want to help you. Okay, that's fine. But penalty, you have to pay the penalty. I'm not going to pay the penalty. So the penalty is upon the burden of the representative, regardless of this representation being based on the hiring contract or based on the voluntarily or was on voluntarily basis. Okay, so this is what either at the naib, if the representative does anything that causes penalty, then it will be from his wealth, from the wealth of the representative, regardless of this representation being based on the hiring contract or it was on voluntarily basis. Ruling number 121. Okay, so if the hiring contract was done on specific amount, our amount is like 15,000 or let's say 12,000, because 10,000 is the cost of Hajj for yourself. So you need to give him something as earning, okay, as benefit for going for you, working for you on behalf of you. So إذا استأجره للحج بأجرة معينة, if someone was hired to perform the Hajj with a specific amount of wage or compensation, فقصرت الأجرة عن مصاريفه. So what happened? The amount fell short from the expenses of Hajj. Forget about the profit. So what happened? He was given 12,000. That means 10,000 for Hajj, 2,000. But now he had to pay 13,000. So 1,000. Who will pay the 1,000 extra? لم يجب على المستأجر تتميمها. Okay. لم يجب على المستأجر تتميمها. The hirer, it would not be obligatory upon the hirer to complete that amount. Okay, because the agreement was done, the contract was done. The hirer made a proposal, let's say 10,000. The hired said no, 12,000. So whatever amount was there, the hired person agreed upon. So that is why whatever falls short, it is not the responsibility of the hirer. It is the responsibility of the hired person. You told me 12. Now you are telling me, oh, like it happens in many of these poor countries where many of them, they rip you off. So they say, oh, I told you 10,000, now but it went 11,000, 12,000. So no, you should have told me more. Why did you tell me that amount? Why did you agree on that amount? So it's your fault. You did not. I would have got someone else with a lower amount. So I can't give you. Sorry. Okay. لم يجب على المستأجر. It would not be obligatory upon the hirer to complete that amount. كما أنها إذا زادت عنها لم يكن له استرداد الزائد. Similarly, opposite side, on the other hand, let's say if the Hajj was 10,000, but he was managed to sneak in, whatever, find some cheap Hajj and cheap caravan and everything, and he was able to perform the Hajj for $6,000. That means how much is the benefit? Not 2,000, it's not 12,000. It is like 4 plus 2, $6,000 is earning. So if you find out, will you say, kindly give me my money back? Okay, only to 2,000 were extra. No, you can't ask. Why didn't you ask other people? You must have asked. Or even if you did not ask, when you told him, I'm giving you 12,000, and he agreed, that means you committed to 12,000. Now it is upon him. The main thing is the Hajj should be, the responsibility of the Hajj should be over. Regardless of he goes and sleeps in Mina or somewhere in the tents or in the streets of Makkah, that's not your problem. You gave him the money. Now if he goes to a cheaper route, less than 10,000, even 5,000, that's fine. Let him. It is the agreement. Al-mu'minuna inda shurutihim. The mu'minuns are according to the conditions stipulated between them or agreed upon them. So, wawfu bil uqud. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whenever you make a contract, fulfill the terms of the contract. So the terms of the contract was, you do Hajj, I pay you this. Khalas. If he does Hajj, he has to pay from his pocket. If it goes below the expenses, the money you gave him, it goes into his pocket. So if it's going to go out of his pocket, then it is going to go in his pocket if it exceeds. So remember, I said, my marhum teacher used to say, "Man kana lahul ghurm fa alayhi al-ghurm." Whoever is going to get benefit, then he is going to also pay the penalty. So if you are to pay penalty from your pocket, then whenever there's benefit, you'll put the benefit in your pocket. Man kana lahu al-ghurm fa alayhi al-ghurm. Ghurm is ghanima. Ghurm. So ghurm and ghurm. Ghurm is ghanima. Ghurm is gharama. Penalty, fine, fees. Okay. Let's take this and finish our session for today. إذا استأجره للحج الواجب أو المندوب فأفسد الأجير حجه بالجماع قبل المشعر. Okay, now previous mas'ala we mentioned, if there's penalty, the hired one, the one was hired, will pay from his pocket. Now what if he messes up with the Hajj? This guy went with his wife and he was in the state of ihram and commits private relation with his wife. Oh, that's the camel I was telling you. Camel and kiss your Hajj goodbye. So now the Hajj became invalidated. The entire Hajj. So who's going to pay the next Hajj? The guy's responsibility is still on his shoulder. He's not relieved because this guy came in the mood. I don't know what did he eat. Anyhow, so إذا استأجره للحج الواجب, if this person was hired for obligatory Hajj or recommended Hajj, okay, Hajj al-wajib أو المندوب, the obligatory Hajj or a recommended. فأفسد الأجير حجه, the hired one spoiled, invalidated the Hajj. How? By performing the private relations, okay, with his wife, with his husband. Let's say the one who went to as a representative was a lady. So anyhow, so the one who was hired, he invalidated his Hajj by performing private relations before Muzdalifah, qabla al-mash'ar. That means he's in the state of ihram and he's in Arafat, and somehow there was an empty tent, and he as a wife, they got to fix something and they messed up with their Hajj. وَجَبَ عَلَيْهِ إِتْمَامُهُ. Okay, so now what should we do? Just tell us. I mean, yes, we have messed up. What's the solution? What should we do now? Stop blaming us. وَجَبَ عَلَيْهِ إِتْمَامُهُ. Okay. وَأَجْزَأَ الْمَنُوبَ عَنْهُ. So now you have to complete it because you are in Muzdalifah. Tomorrow you are going to go Mina. And from Mina, you are going to perform the rituals of Mina. We are going to talk about it. And the rituals of Hajj, Tawaf, 2 rakat Tawaf, Sa'i between Safa and Marwa, and Tawaf al-Nisa, and 2 rakat Tawaf al-Nisa. So he said completed. It would be obligatory upon him to complete the Hajj. Should not say, oh, the Hajj is invalidated, khalas, let me go back hometown. No, 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 no. Complete the Hajj. وَأَجْزَأَ الْمَنُوبَ عَنْهُ. Okay? وَأُجْزِئَ الْمَنُوبَ عَنْهُ. And this Hajj will be sufficient for the one who hired. That's confusing. The Hajj became invalidated. How can this invalidated Hajj be sufficient and would be relieving the hirer or the one on his behalf the Hajj was performed? Is sufficient that he will be relieved from the liability, from the responsibility. Yes, the marhum or the one who sent this Hajj, his shoulder will be relieved. Okay, the Hajj is done for them. He has to complete this, and the Hajj is done for the hirer. But isn't this invalidated? Yes. So we have two components here. The one who hired for marhum or for himself or whomsoever, the Hajj on behalf of someone, that someone's Hajj has been relieved. But this person has a practical responsibility to perform in order to complete that Hajj. What is that practical responsibility? For this person, their Hajj has been done, but this person is in trouble. He's stuck in between. So what should he do? وَأَجْزَأَ الْمَنُوعَ عَنْهُ وَعَلَى الْأَجِيرِ. And the one who was hired, الْحَجْ مِنْ قَابِلٍ وَكَفَّارَةُ بُدْنَةٍ. الْحَجُّ مِنْ قَابِلٍ وَكَفَّارَةُ بُدْنَةٍ. So the one who is hired, he should perform the Hajj next year, because we said if you mess up, you have to redo the Hajj. And if you don't have money, you have to arrange whatever. You have to come back. It's a penalty. Okay, coming back doing the Hajj is a penalty, and paying a penalty of camel. Remember, keep yourself away from the camel, because you'll have to kiss your Hajj goodbye. Okay, until here we know this guy messed up. Okay, kiss his Hajj goodbye, but the Hajj of the one who he was representing is okay, performed, finish. Okay, but this person is stuck. He has to come back next year, and he has to also pay penalty camel from his pocket. Remember, he has to pay from his pocket. Okay, this is done. What about the wages? If the Hajj, the one whom it was represented, his Hajj is relieved, then what about the wages? Should we pay him the wages? Let's say وَالظَّاهِرْ أَنَّهُ يَسْتَحِقُّ الْأُجْرَةِ. Apparently, if the Hajj has been relieved, he deserves the wages. Okay? وَإِنْ لَمْ يَحُجْ مِنْ قَابِلٍ لِعُذْرٍ أَوْ غَيْرِ عُذْرٍ. Even if next year he doesn't perform, he will be considered a sinner if there was no excuse. But if there was excuse, he will not be a sinner. But he will still be required to perform the Hajj whenever he can. Okay, it is his responsibility. The hired one, the representative's responsibility has not been relieved. The Hajj of the one who he was representing is been relieved, but his responsibility has not been relieved. See the technicality here? They're all from narrations. Okay, فإنه يستحق الأجرة وإن لم يحج. He will deserve his wages because the Hajj of representatives is whom he was representing is done. Even if he does not Hajj, وَإِن لَمْ يَحُجْ مِنْ قَابِلٍ, next year, due to the excuse or without any excuse, regardless whether it was unintentional or intentional, be it he had excuse or no excuse, he did not come next year. That is his problem now to solve. The one whom he was representing, the problem has been solved. Okay, so here, this person was hired to perform the Hajj. What if someone went voluntarily? Who wants to help me perform my Hajj? I don't have money. When it was obligated upon me. I have to perform the Hajj, but not this year. I'm broke. I don't have money. One of his son or one of his relatives or beloved ones, you say, said, I will do Hajj on your behalf. No problem. He went there and whoopsie daisy. He went to the tent in Arafat or somewhere and he was in the state of Ihram. His wife was with him. Khalas, thing happened. So now what did he do? Should same thing happen or no? It's a different. He says no, same thing. The Hajj of the one whom he was representing voluntarily is relieved, and he will have to come next year, or if next year he can't, whenever he can, and he will have to pay a kafara penalty, and his Hajj has been kissed goodbye. So he has to come next year and make it. وَتَجْرِ الْأَحْكَامُ الْمَذْكُورَةِ, and all these rules are applicable upon the one who went, who did representation voluntarily, إِلَّا أَنَّهُ لَا يَسْتَحِقُّ الْأُجْرَةِ, except for one case, that he does not deserve any wages or compensation. Why? Because it was not a hiring contract. It was based on volunteer. So ruling number 122, we will keep it, inshallah, for tomorrow, بإذن ta'ala. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين